Good afternoon, students. Okay. In the last class, we were discussing about the dielectrics, right? Aditya, can you define dielectrics?
Ma'am, they are insulators
Yes, they are
with
insulators.
negligible number of charge carriers.
Yes, very good. Dielectrics are actually non-conducting substances with a negligible number of charge carriers. And yesterday we are discussing about the dielectrics. And in order to explain about the dielectrics, we consider the charge distribution of dielectrics in their molecular level. So in their molecular level, dielectric is consisting of mainly two types of molecule, polar molecule and a non-polar molecule. What do you mean by polar molecule, Gauri? Gauri is not here. Nandana, polar molecule.
They have a permanent electric dipole.
Okay, polar molecule is one with the permanent dipole moment. Okay, Dia, non-polar molecule.
They have positive and negative charges combined.
Okay, in the case of a non-polar molecule, the centers of the positive and negative charges are coincide. Naurin, can you say one example for a non-polar molecule?
Oxygen, nitrogen.
Okay, all right, good. Anthony, can you say one example for polar molecule?
Yes, ma'am.
Example for polar molecule?
Polar. Ma'am, yesterday I was that I had an exorcism.
Okay, Emmanuel, example for polar molecule?
Hydrogen chloride.
Ah, yes, hydrogen chloride. Hydrochloric acid, HCl. Hydrochloric acid, then one more, Punya. One more example for polar molecule.
Not there.
Okay, so hydrochloric acid, MgCl2, NaCl, these are examples for the polar molecules. So we are seeing in the, finally we are seeing that whether it is polar molecule or non-polar molecule, only in the presence of external field, they possess a dipole moment. So in the absence of an external field, the polar molecule and non-polar molecule doesn't possess any kind of dipole moment, and their electric field is also equal to 0. But when the polar molecule and non-polar molecule is placed in an external electric field, it possesses a dipole moment, and that dipole moment per unit volume is known as polarization, and it is represented by the letter capital P. Did you remember that? Okay. I will share it once again. So the polar molecule and non-polar molecule only in the presence of an external field is possess a dipole moment. That dipole moment per unit volume is known as polarization, and that polarization is denoted by the letter P, capital letter P. And this polarization is only due to the presence of an external electric field. So we can write the P is directly proportional to E, where P is the polarization and E is the external electric field. And in order to replace this proportionality sign, here we are introduce a constant, and that constant is known as electric susceptibility. It is pronounced as chi E into E. Chi E, where this chi E is known as the electric susceptibility of the dielectric medium. Electric susceptibility. Okay, this is what we were discussing in the last class. So in the case of a dielectrics, in order to explain the dielectrics in its molecular level, for the further explanation, we are consider the charge distribution of the dielectrics in their molecular level. In the molecular level, the dielectric is possess two types of molecules. One is a polar molecule and other is the non-polar molecule. Even though if it is polar or non-polar molecule, they possess a permanent dipole moment only in the presence of an external electric field. And that dipole moment per unit volume is known as the polarization. It is denoted by the letter capital P. So this polarization P is only occurs due to the presence of an external electric field. So we can write P is directly proportional to E. In order to replace this proportionality sign, here we are introduced a constant. That constant is known as the electric susceptibility, chi E. So this is the equation for dielectrics. Polarization, dielectric polarization. Is it is clear?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, what is the definition for polarization?
Okay, the definition for polarization. All of you write the definition for polarization. Whether a polar or non-polar molecule, a polar or non-polar molecule, a polar or non-polar molecule develop, a polar or non-polar molecule develop a net dipole moment, a polar or non-polar molecule develop a net dipole moment in the presence of external field, in the presence of an external electric field, in the presence of an external electric field. The polar and non-polar molecule possess a dipole moment or develop a dipole moment in the presence of an external electric field. This dipole moment per unit volume, this dipole moment per unit volume, this dipole moment per unit volume is called, this dipole moment per unit volume is called polarization. This dipole moment per unit volume is called polarization. And it is denoted by the letter capital P, denoted by capital P. And write the expression for capital P also. Capital P is proportional to the electric field E. Capital P is proportional to electric field E. Or P is equal to chi E into capital E. Or P is equal to chi E into capital E. What is chi E? What is chi E? The chi is known as the electric susceptibility of the dielectric medium. Chi E is known as the electric susceptibility of the dielectric medium. Clear? Okay. So dielectric is a non-conducting substance and it consisting of negligible amount of charge carriers. In order to explain further, we want to consisting of this charge distribution of this non-polar dielectrics in their molecular level. It consisting of two types of molecules, polar and non-polar molecule. Either the polar or non-polar molecule, they possess the dipole moment only in the presence of an external electric field, and it is this external electric field they possess a dipole moment. This dipole moment per unit volume is known as polarization P. P is equal to chi E into E, where chi is a constant. It is the electric, what is that? Chi E. It is the electric dipole moment, right? Electric susceptibility, sorry. Electric susceptibility. Okay. So now we can discuss the next topic. Is it is clear for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we can discuss the next topic, that is capacitors and capacitance. Capacitors and capacitance. All of you write the next heading, capacitors and capacitance. So the next topic is capacitors and capacitance. Have you heard about this term, capacitors? Are you familiar with this term, capacitors? Capacitors is a system of two conductors separated by an insulator. So all of you write the definition for capacitors. Capacitors is a system of two conductors separated by an insulator. Capacitors are the system of two conductors separated by an insulator.
Ma'am,
Yes.
is the same as the one used in fans?
Yes. So capacitors is a system of conductors separated by an insulator. And students in our house, where we are storing the food items without wasting it. Yes. In fridge or in refrigerators, right? Similarly, in electronics, this capacitor is used to store the electric charges. Okay, so capacitor is a device that is used to store the electric charges. So this is the use of capacitor. So you can write this also along with the definition of capacitors. Capacitor is a device that is used to store the electric charges. Okay, capacitor is a device that is used to store the electric charges. So capacitor is a system of two conductors that is separated by an insulator, and it is a device that is used to store the electric charges. Clear? Okay. Then Aryan, what do you mean by capacitor? Aryan?
It is a system of two conductors separated by an insulator.
Okay, it is a system of two conductors separated by an insulator. Srihari, what is the use of capacitor?
Used to store electric charges.
Yes, it is used to store the electric charges. Now we can discuss about this capacitor in detail. In order to explain about the capacitor, first of all, I consider a conductor and I place a charge. This charge is uniformly distributed through the surface of this conductor. Okay. In order to explain the capacitor, I consider a conductor and a charge is provided to this conductor. This charge is uniformly distributed through the surface of this conductor. Then students, can you say what about the potential here? What is the expression for potential? V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by R. Okay, this is the potential of this conductor. In order to explain a capacitor, I consider a conductor and place a charge. This charge is uniformly distributed through the surface of this conductor. And the potential of this conductor is given by V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R. So this potential arises due to the presence of these charges present in this conductor. Okay. Then students, can you say what happens if the amount of charge if the amount of providing charges increases, what happens to the value of potential here? If the charge provided here is increases, what happens to the value of potential? Is it increase or decrease? If the value of, here you can use this equation. Here V is directly proportional to Q and V is inversely proportional to the distance of separation R. So if the amount of charge that is given to a conductor is increases, what happens to the value of potential? Is it increase or decrease? It is increases. Okay. So here we are considering a conductor and a charge is provided to this conductor. After some time, this charge is uniformly distributed through this conductor. And due to this charge, a potential arises in the conductor, and that potential is given by V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R. And here, if the amount of charge that is given to this conductor is increases, what happens to the potential? Potential is also automatically increases. So we can write Q is directly proportional to V. That is, if the charge provided to a conductor is increases, the potential developed in this conductor is also increases. Okay, so here the charge is directly proportional to V. And in order to replace this proportionality sign, here I introduce a constant C. Q is equal to CV. Okay, and this constant C is known as the capacitance of the conductor. This constant C is known as the capacitance of conductor. So here, first of all, we are considering a conductor and place a charge. After some time, this charge is uniformly distributed through the conductor. Then due to the presence of this charge, a potential arises in this conductor. And the potential of this conductor is given by the expression V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R. If the charge provided to this conductor is increases further, we can see that the potential developed is also increases. So we can write Q is directly proportional to V, or Q is equal to CV. In order to replace the proportionality sign, we introduce a constant, and that constant of proportionality is known as the capacitance of the capacitor. Okay, it is the capacitance of the conductor, not capacitor. It is the capacitance of the conductor. Okay. So here we have Q is equal to CV. From this equation, can you form an equation for C? What is C?
Q by V.
Yes, C is equal to Q by V. So this is the equation for capacitance. Q is equal to CV, or the capacitance of the conductor. C is equal to Q by V. That is the charge per potential gives the capacitance of a conductor. The capacitance of a conductor is defined as the charge per potential. Okay, so the charge per potential gives the capacitance. C is equal to Q by V. Now, what about the unit of this capacitance? What is the unit of charge?
Coulomb.
Coulomb. Okay. What about the unit of potential? What is the unit of potential? Volt. So what about the unit of capacitance? One unit of capacitance is given by Coulomb per volt. Coulomb per volt. Okay. But for capacitance, one more SI unit, standard unit is that, and the standard unit of the capacitance is farad. The farad is the standard unit of SI unit of capacitance is farad, and it is denoted by the letter F, capital F. So here we are describing about the capacitance of a conductor. That is, the capacitance of a conductor is given by charge per potential. It is given by the equation C is equal to Q by V. The unit of capacitance, one is Coulomb per volt, and the SI unit of the capacitance is given by farad. It is represented by capital F. Okay. Now, can you define what you mean by 1 farad? What do you mean by 1 farad? We know that the unit of capacitance is farad, right? The unit of capacitance is farad. And what about the unit of charge? It is Coulomb. And the unit of the potential is volt. So my question is, define 1 farad. Define 1 farad. 1 farad is equal to 1 Coulomb divided by 1 volt. That is, when 1 coulomb charge is provided to a conductor, it will produce a potential of 1 volt. That is what is known as 1 farad. So all of you write a question. Define 1 farad. Define 1 farad. And you can write this equation. 1 farad is equal to 1 coulomb by 1 volt. 1 farad is equal to 1 coulomb divided by 1 volt. And write the definition for 1 farad. When 1 coulomb potential, when 1 coulomb charge is provided to a conductor, when 1 coulomb charge is given to a conductor, when 1 coulomb charge given to a conductor, it will produce a potential of 1 volt. When 1 coulomb charge given to a conductor, it will produce a potential of 1 volt is known as 1 farad. Okay. So capacitor is a system of two conductors that is separated by an insulator, and it is a device that is used to store the electric charges. While defining about the capacitor, we are defining what I mean by capacitance. It is the charge per potential of a conductor gives the capacitance. It is given by the equation C is equal to Q by V. There are two units for capacitance. One is coulomb per volt, but the SI unit of capacitance is farad. It is represented by the letter capital F. And 1 farad is given by 1 coulomb per 1 volt. That is, when 1 coulomb charge is provided to a conductor, it will produce a potential of 1 volt, and that is what is known as 1 farad. Now, we can write the symbolic representation of a capacitor. Write the next subheading, symbolic representation of a capacitor. Okay, so the next subheading, symbolic representation of a capacitor. A capacitor with a fixed capacitance can be symbolically represented like this. This is the symbolic representation of a capacitor. Okay, this is the symbolic representation of a capacitor. A capacitor with a fixed capacitor value. A capacitor with a fixed capacitance value can be represented like this. The two lines must be draw alike, don't like this. It is the representation of the cell. Okay, it's the representation of the electric cell. Symbolic representation of a capacitor.
Ma'am, they should
Yes.
have the same size, right?
Yeah, both the line have the same size. Now the variable capacitance can be represented as, the variable capacitance can be represented. That is, that capacitor doesn't possess a fixed value. Its value is variable, varies. So the variable capacitance can be represented like this. Draw the same line and draw an arrow mark in between them. So this is the representation of variable capacitor. Variable capacitance can be symbolically represented like this. Okay. So this is the symbolic representation of a capacitor. The first one is the representation of a capacitor with the fixed value of capacitance. Fixed value of capacitance. The second one is also the representation of a capacitor with a variable value for the capacitance. If it is clear? Okay. Now we can explain the working principle of a capacitor. So the next one is the working principle of a capacitor. So in order to explain the working of a capacitor, first of all, I consider a conductor. I consider a charged conductor. In order to explain the working principle of a capacitor, I consider a charged conductor and place another uncharged conductor near this charged conductor. Place another uncharged conductor nearer this charged conductor. Then students, what happens to this uncharged conductor when it is placed near a charged conductor? Did you remember? You already studied in the first chapter. Yes. Anyone, please recall what happened here. First of all, we consider a charged conductor and place an uncharged conductor near this charged conductor. What happened to this uncharged conductor?
Induction.
Yes.
It gets oppositely charged.
Yes. How? Through which method? Through which method the charges are get transferred?
Induction.
Yes. Here by the method of induction, what happens? The charges present in this uncharged conductor is get separated, and here the negative charges are formed in this end of the conductor, that is nearer to the end of this positive charge, and the positive charge is developed or this gets separated on the farther end of the conductor. Okay. So here, first of all, we are considering a charged conductor and we place an uncharged conductor nearer to this charged conductor. Then by the method of induction, the charges in the uncharged conductor is get separated and they are arranged like this. Now what we are doing, we are earthed this positive part of this conductor. We earthing this, the second part of the second conductor. We are earthing the positive side of this second conductor. When we are earthing the second conductor, what happens to this positive charges? This positive charges are get transferred to earth. That is, this positive charges seems to be disappears completely from here. Okay. When we are earthing this positive side, what happens? All the positive charges are get transferred to the ground, or it seems to be disappears. Okay. Then what happens to the value of potential here? What happens to the value of potential here? The potential is increases or decreases. We were already studied that the potential is directly proportional to the charge. So if the charge is removed from this plate, what happens to the value of potential?
Decreases.
Potential is also seems to be decreases, because all the positive charges, initially here some positive charges are present when it is placed near the charged conductor, but when we are at that side, what happens? All the positive charges are seems to be disappears, or it is get transferred into the earth. Yes.
Ma'am, but when earthing, only the negative charges will be gone. Right?
When earthing, only
Negative charges will go, right?
when we are earth, but we are earthing on the side in which the positive charges are placed. In that side we are earthing, so all the positive charges are get transferred into the earth. Okay. So when the positive charges are disappears, here automatically the potential seems to be decreases. So here the only way to increase this potential to further increasing the charges. Whenever we are providing more and more charges, then only the potential seems to be increases. And finally, a stage is reaches in which the potential remains a constant. This is the working principle of a capacitor. Okay, this is the working principle of a capacitor. So the working principle of a capacitor states that when an earth connected conductor is placed near a charged conductor, its charge storing capacity increases. So what is the working principle of a capacitor? When an earthed conductor is placed near a charged conductor. When an earth connected conductor, all of you write the working principle of the capacitor. When an earth connected conductor when an earth connected conductor is placed near a charged conductor. When an earth connected conductor is placed near a charged conductor, its charge storing capacity is increases. Its charge storing capacity is increases. So once again, I will explain the working principle of this capacitor. Initially, we are considering a conductor. This is a charged conductor in which the positive charges are distributed on the surface of this conductor. Nearer to this charged conductor, here I am placing an uncharged conductor. When I am placing an uncharged conductor near a charged conductor, due to the method of induction, what happens? The charges of the uncharged conductor get separated, and the negative charges are aligned nearer to that of the positive side, and the positive charges is aligned on the farther side. Then the next step, I am earth this positive side. When I am earthing this positive side, what happens? All the positive charges are get transferred to the earth, or it seems to be disappeared from that side. When the positive charges are disappears, what happens? The potential of this conductor seems to be decreases. So in order to increase this potential value, the only way to increase the charges further. Okay. So whenever we are increases the amount of charge, the potential is automatically increases, and finally it reaches the value of constant. So this method, when an earth conductor is placed near a charged conductor and thereby increasing the charge storing capacity, is the working principle of the capacitor. Okay. Is it clear? Now, try the next topic, capacitance of a spherical conductor. The next topic is capacitance of a...
Ma'am,
Yes,
can you say the
working
step?
principle.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All of you write the working principle. When an earth conductor is placed near a charged conductor, when an earth conductor is placed near a charged conductor, its charge storing capacity is increases. Its charge storing capacity is increases. When an earth conductor is placed near a charged conductor, its charge storing capacity is increases. This is the working principle of a capacitor. Okay. Nia, can you recall once again what you mean by a capacitor? Nia? Okay, I think Ashwin. Ashwin? All right. Rijak?
Capacitors are a system of two conductors separated by an insulator.
Okay, very good. Then, what is the working principle of capacitor? Malaviga? Working principle of capacitor?
When an earth connected conductor is placed near a charged conductor, its charge storing capacity increases.
Okay, good. Michael, what do you mean by capacitance? Michael Faraday, are you there? Unmute and answer. Okay, Abdul. Capacitance.
Q by V.
C is equal to Q by V. What is the SI unit of capacitance then?
Farad.
Farad. All right. So write the next heading. Capacitance of a spherical conductor. Capacitance of a spherical conductor. Okay, capacitance of a spherical conductor. In order to explain this capacitance of a spherical conductor, we are considering a spherical conductor first. Okay. So the potential, we know that in a spherical conductor, where did the charges are distributed? Inside the conductor or on the surface of the conductor? In a spherical conductor, where is the charges are distributed? Inside the conductor
Surface.
or on the surface of the conductor? Then can you say what about the potential on the surface of a spherical conductor? The potential on the surface of a spherical conductor is given by V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by R. Okay. So in order to explain the capacitance of a spherical conductor, first of all, we are considering a spherical conductor. In the case of a spherical conductor, the potential on the surface of a spherical conductor is given by V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q by R. Then from this expression, can you form an equation for the charge Q? What is the charge Q here? You can place the Q here itself and bring this 4 pi epsilon 0 R towards the side of V. Then what about the equation become? Q is equal to
4 pi epsilon 0 V into R.
yes, 4 pi epsilon 0 R into V. Okay. And this is our equation 1. Now, what is the expression for charge in the presence of a capacitor? We already studied that Q is equal to CV. The Q is directly proportional to V, and in order to replace that proportionality sign, we are introduce a constant, and that constant is known as C. So Q is also equal to CV. Now we can compare this equation 1 and 2. Here both the LHS and RHS, sorry, LHS is of the both equations are Q. So we can write CV is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 R into V. Equate equation number 1 and 2, we get CV is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 RV. Now we can cancel this V and V. Then what about the expression for C? C is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 into R. This is the capacitance of a spherical conductor. This is the capacitance of a spherical conductor. Okay. So in order to explain the capacitance of a spherical conductor, here we are considering a spherical conductor. And in the case of a spherical conductor, the charges are distributed on the surface of the conductor. Due to the presence of charges, a potential is developed on the spherical conductor, and that potential is given by V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R, where Q is the charge and R is the radius, and epsilon 0 is the permittivity of the free space. Then from that equation, we are deriving an equation for Q. It is given by Q is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 R into V. And one more expression for Q in the presence of capacitance, it is given by Q is equal to CV. By comparing this equation 1 and 2, we get C is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 R, where C is the capacitance, epsilon 0 is the permittivity of the free space, and R is the radius. Okay, this is the expression for the capacitance of a spherical conductor. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we are considering our earth as a spherical conductor. Okay, if we are considering our earth as a spherical conductor, so suppose we consider the earth. It possesses a radius of R. Okay, it possesses a radius of R. Now the capacitance of this spherical earth is given by C is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 into capital R. Okay. If we are considering the earth as a spherical conductor with radius R, then the capacitance of the spherical earth is given by C is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 into capital letter R. You can also note this. Sometimes it may be asked for examinations. So what about the capacitance of the spherical earth? Yes.
But it may not be accurate, right?
Not accurate. We are assumed that earth is a spherical conductor, but actually earth is not a spherical in shape, that we know. We are already studied in science. Okay, so this is an accurate value. So the capacitance of the spherical earth is given by C is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 into R, where R is the radius, epsilon 0 is the permittivity. But students, we were already studied a value for 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, right? What is the value of 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0? Yes, it is 9 into 10 raised to 9, right? Then can you say what do you mean by 4 pi epsilon 0? 4 pi epsilon 0. 4 pi epsilon 0 is equal to, we can take the reciprocal, that is 1 by 9 into 10 raised to 9. Okay. And do you know the radius of the earth? The radius of the earth is given by R is equal to 6,400 kilometer. We can convert it into meter. That is R is equal to 6,400 into 10 raised to 3 meter. So here we are going to calculate the capacitance of the spherical earth. The equation for calculating the capacitance of the spherical earth is given by C is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 into R. But we know that 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 is equal to 9 into 10 raised to 9. After substituting the value for epsilon 0 and 4 pi, we get 9 into 10 raised to 9. Then 4 pi epsilon 0 is equal to 1 by 9 into 10 raised to 9. And the radius of the earth is given by 6,400 kilometer. That is equal to 6,400 into 10 raised to 3 meter. Now we can substitute all these values to this equation. Then we get C is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 is given by 1 by 9 into 10 raised to 9 into the radius of the earth is given by 6,400 into 10 raised to 3. Now we can cut this 10 raised to 3 and 10 raised to 9. Then we get C is equal to 1 by 9 into 10 raised to 6 into 6,400. Again, we can cut these two zeros. It becomes 64 divided by 9 into 10 raised to 4. If we are take the 10 raised to 4 to numerator, we have 64 into 10 raised to negative 4 divided by 9. Right? And this value is approximately equal to, C is equal to 7.11 into 10 raised to minus 4. What is the unit of capacitance? What is the unit of capacitance? Farad. So C is equal to 7.11 into 10 raised to minus 4 farad. This is the capacitance of the spherical earth after substituting all these values. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. So in order to explain the capacitance of the spherical earth, the equation for calculating the capacitance of the spherical earth is given by C is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 R. The value of the 4 pi epsilon 0 is 1 by 9 into 10 raised to 9. And the radius of the earth is given by 6,400 kilometer. We convert it into meter. It becomes 6,400 into 10 raised to 3 meter. And after solving, finally, we get the expression for the capacitance of the earth. It is given by C is equal to 7.11 into 10 raised to minus 4 farad. So the capacitance of the earth, the capacitance of the spherical earth is given by C is equal to 7.11 into 10 raised to minus 4 farad. Or we can write C is equal to 711 into 10 raised to minus 6 farad. Okay, 711 into 10 raised to minus 6. we just remove that decimal point. It becomes 711 into 10 raised to minus 6 farad, or that is equal to 711 microfarad. 711 microfarad. So this is the capacitance of the spherical earth. Okay. So students, today we were discussing about the capacitors and the capacitance. Capacitors means these are the two conductors separated by an insulator, and it is a device that is used to store the charges. And the SI, there are two units for capacitance. One is coulomb per volt, but the standard unit or the SI unit of the capacitance is farad, and 1 farad is equal to 1 coulomb by 1 volt. That is, when the 1 coulomb charge is provided to a conductor, it produces a potential of 1 volt. That is what is known as 1 farad. Then we were discussing about the capacitance of a spherical conductor and what is the working principle of the capacitor. What is the working principle of capacitor? Punya? What is the working principle of capacitor?
When an earth-connected conductor is placed near a charged conductor, its charge storing capacity increases.
Yes. When a earth-connected conductor is placed near a charged conductor, its charge storing capacity increases. This is the working principle of the capacitor. And we were also discussed about the symbolic representation of a capacitor with a fixed value of capacitance and also with the variable value of capacitance. And now we are deriving the expression for the capacitance of a spherical conductor. For a spherical conductor, what is the value of capacitance? Lydia, what is the equation for calculating the value of a capacitance of spherical conductor?
C equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 R.
Okay. C is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 into capital R or small r?
Small r.
Okay, all right. Nandana, what is the capacitance of the spherical earth? Nandana? Okay. Achyut, what is the capacitance of a spherical earth? Equation for calculating the capacitance of a spherical earth.
C equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 into capital R.
Okay, then Anna, what is its value? The capacitance of spherical earth? Anna?
7.11 into 10 raised to minus 4 farad.
Farad. All right. Good. So I think these topics are clear for you. Do you have any doubt? You can ask and clear now itself. Working once again. Okay. All right. So I think the idea is clear to you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we can wind up this class. Okay. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.